YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today I want to take you through a full day of eating on a day of rest. So rest day from the gym, we're not training, but everything else is the exact same. Rest day food is obviously lower. We don't have that training session in there, but we're also trying to prioritize rest on a rest day. So this is exactly what I'm eating 19 weeks out on a day that I'm not training in the gym. We still have same cardio to do, 30 minutes fasted in the morning, and then steps are at 12,000. The current macros on a rest day will be here on the screen for you right now. 5 meals. I'm going to take you through every single meal, the reasons why I'm having all of these meals. We need to, obviously be making use of the time that we're not training to recover. And I think that's one thing that we always, neglect, is spending the time actually recovering that little bit more. So for people that might train in the morning, first thing, that might mean you spending an extra hour and a half sleeping, catching up on a little bit of sleep. That's not always the case. It might mean you catching up on other things like getting food prepped and getting ready and other things that you struggle to get done during the week because you have to give that time to training. For people that train in the evening, it might mean having that extra hour with the missus, with the boyfriend, with your kids, to not train that day. Use that time that you would usually be in the gym wisely and be productive with that time, so you actually feel like you're getting something out of the rest day and it's not just another day that passes by. You know what I mean? Again, structure of food, very, very, very similar. We don't have the post-workout meals. There is no peri-workout window there really throughout the day. So it's just about being smart with food, what way we're going to structure it, and setting up the rest day as best you possibly can to keep that routine in order. So meal one is cooking at the moment. It is 11 o'clock. We're going to get stuck in. We also have a little bit of meal prep done today as well. So we're ahead of ourselves that little bit more. So meal one is always going to be a bowl of oats probably for me until carbohydrates get to a point where I can't have oats anymore in the morning, which will be unfortunate, but I'm well used to being able to do zero carb when needs be. For meal one, we have 80 grams of oats, 200 grams of summer fruits, frozen berries always on my oats, and then 35 grams of Perform cookies and cream flavour. Actually, I've swapped back. I found in the press the cookies and cream. It's meant to be like an Oreo kind of flavour, so it's more of a chocolatey kind of a way, and it's nice to actually switch it up a little bit like that. Again, if I'm on the road, I'll take these oats with me in a lunchbox. Exact same thing, cook them the exact same way. You could make overnight oats. Some people just actually put oats in a bowl, put water in or put milk in and just eat them, raw, without cooking them. I've never done that, I never probably will. Oats in the dieting phase, because the fibre content, again, is great, they're really good for filling you up. I don't think there's any other kind of carb source there in the mornings that's going to fill you up better than a bowl of oats will. So making use of that as well. And then my salt and cinnamon on top. This is for Sam. Sam, you'll know who you are. Showing you exactly how much salt I have on my meals. So pink Himalayan salt is for my sodium. We have low salt then for potassium. And again, you might look at the salt that I'm having and think that's a crazy amount of salt. This is what I've been doing for years. So it's consistent, and once I'm taking in enough fluids throughout the day and everything else is in order, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Obviously there is, a point of probably diminishing returns with, salt and how much salt you're taking in, but I'm well used to that amount now, and obviously it makes me drink a lot of water, which is also a very good thing. So if you notice that you struggle with water intake, it's probably because you're lacking a little bit of salt as well. If you go back to my YouTube in the last couple of years, you'll notice I was very macro based. Let me fix that air fryer. So I was very focused on pushing all my food out as much as I can, pushing all my carbs towards the end of the day, and not focusing on performance in the gym, energy throughout the day, which allows me to keep my NEAT higher, and the movement that I do throughout the day. And that's a little rabbit hole you can get stuck down very quick. So just be cautious of that. Now I am very focused on training performance, using my food to fuel me throughout the day, and I definitely think it'll have an impact on the physique, you know, come the stage that we are shredded. So I'm going to crack on with meal one. Usually about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours. That will probably get longer and longer of a time between when I wake up and when I have my first meal. So if I'm up at 6, first meal at 11:15, it's 5 hours there where I haven't eaten and I'm staying fasted. Obviously I am utilising clenbuterol in the mornings right now, which is fine to use non-fasted. Obviously it will work, you know, a small little bit better when you are in a fasted state doing fasted cardio, but when your himbine, another fat loss agent, comes into play, the only way that works is fasted and with a black coffee to work best. So they're just different things that you can utilise for fat loss. Switching up the whey has been nice too, to be fair, but I cannot beat the Perform cereal milk. I was chatting to Don the other day actually as well. I'm definitely going to try some of the ESN protein. You know, now that we're in prep and food is so, you know, not important, but it's a big part of the day as weeks go along. I want to enjoy it as much as possible, and I want to try some of the ESN proteins. That cinnamon cereal one is definitely one that I want to try. So that is meal one, done and dusted. Back to the desk now for another while. I think a big thing with food, especially when we're dieting, is being relatively like present, you could say. You know, not to be all weird and stuff, but like what I noticed especially, and the difference the other night, I was making a post for Instagram and I was focused on that at the same time as eating a meal. The next thing I looked down and the bowl was empty and the food was gone, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize I was eating that, you know. And not so much really now at the start of prep and at the start of your diet when hunger levels aren't bad, but when you get to the point where you are a lot more hungry, you know, food is a lot less and you don't have as much of it to eat on a daily basis, making sure that you know that you're taking every bite, you know, and enjoying that meal properly, because that'll signal to the brain that you're filling up more, you know, and the food is being used, you know, you're enjoying the food more, it'll take you longer to eat the food and you'll just get more out of it and more enjoyment out of it. Also, what we're going to do next is head for a couple of steps. Steps, do not underestimate the power of steps for digestion, because again, that food is just going to sit here and I'm going to sit here in front of the laptop for a couple of minutes and let the food, you know, get going. And then for that food to be properly digested, it's going to take me moving about. And again, this is for lads in gainer phases who are eating a lot of food as well. That gut, you know, and having a healthy gut and healthy GI function and digesting food properly will be massively improved from you just moving around a small little bit. 10 minutes, 15 minutes of movement after you eat a meal. Again, if you're working, you know, 9 to 5 on your lunch breaks, have your meal, get for a few steps. You know, in the morning, after your breakfast, get for a few steps. In the evening, a few steps. Very easy way to build up your step count as well. I do notice, you know, my steps are picking up a lot more from just going after those 4 to 5 meals every single day, a couple of steps. You know, if you're getting 1,000 to 1,500 steps with every single meal, it's a lot of steps during the day built up. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock, back at the fridge. Best thing to manage hunger and everything, especially on rest days where, again, you've no training and food might be a little bit lower, is just staying busy. Right? The busier you are, the less things you're going to be thinking about, the less food you're going to be thinking about, you know, and the time goes by. So I usually crack open one of these between meal 1 and meal 2, depending, seeing what the day is looking like. Job's been cancelled. It's a bit of a running theme on this fucking channel. A job that I have to go to ends up getting cancelled the day of. It is what it is. Using your sugary or zero sugar drinks, I should say, like Coke Zeros, Monsters, really do help with pushing past, you know, that hunger and needing to get meals in and everything, and, you know, pushing meals out. So put a Monster in now. As much as I can, I try and stick to the 1 Monster a day. I know a lot of people are against Monster and like stuff altogether. Absolutely nothing wrong with these. Again, if you're slamming more Monster, and I know people are, you know who you are, drinking more Monster, more Coke Zero than water, then come on, you know, grow up a small little bit. But nothing wrong with a Monster a day, sometimes 2, and the same goes, you know, Coke Zero, I'll have 1 to 2 a day. And if everything else is in order, there's absolutely nothing to worry about. So slam one of these, ice cold out the fridge. There is a big difference in having like a room temperature Monster than an ice cold Monster. It's like kind of a waste, especially like if you're paying expensive money for them. I try not to buy them in the shop, try and get them in Tesco's when they're like 4 for 4 or something like that, or like Musgraves, you can get the multi-packs. Just trying to be smart with it, obviously, because it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap to feed yourself these days, but there's smart ways to do it. And I think a food shop is definitely something that we should do over the coming weeks, possibly with Don, is just one specific video on food shop again, on a budget, you know, on a budget. I'm 23. I don't have like loads of money to be spending on, you know, stupid stuff. So I need to be smart with the money as much as we can. Look at that. Beautiful. Potatoes done with some burnt looking peppers and onions. So meal 2, prepped from earlier. We are doing actually a salad with this. So we're going to do some iceberg lettuce. And then we've got our chicken and potatoes in the microwave, warming up, cooked from earlier. Meal 2 is going in at 2:30. Again, I might have a little Coke Zero with this, potentially. I do find appetite is quite high today, to be fair. Get out for more steps after this, back for another block of work, another meal a couple hours later, so on and so forth. So, see what this meal looks like. It's a beautiful day outside, a nice summer's day, and that starts to show you now, like, summer's going to start coming in quick, you know, so if you're not already, start getting on top of the diet. You know, March, April is not enough time for you to start. I've done it so many years where I've like fucked it up in January, fucked it up in February, and then like come March and April, I'm like really trying to get on top of things. And even as hard as you might go, time is what we need. We need time on our side to get in shape, you know, so making sure that you're giving yourself enough time going into your diet is more than good, and it is needed. So this is what we're working for with meal 2. So we have lettuce, again, so low in calories, lads. Okay, fill yourself up on lettuce. We have a poxy little bit of chicken. There's 160 grams of chicken, and then we have 350 grams of potatoes cut up into cubes, cooked in the air fryer with peppers and a little bit of red onion in there as well. Lots of salt, and then I'm just going with the reliable ketchup for this meal. You cannot beat a bit of ketchup. Potatoes are going in now. You'll see a lot today on a rest day, and it's just because I like potatoes, and they're the one food that'll probably fill you the most. I do still like having a lot of rice, to be fair. Rice I absolutely love, but just decided to have potatoes today. You know, I work off a meal plan, but you know, I can swap things around here and there. You know, I don't mind mixing things up too much. You know, once I'm not like overdoing it with like fiber and overdoing it with like bulking meals up with veg and everything, I'll be absolutely fine. What you can do, like these potatoes are honestly unbelievable. Like salt them, get loads of salt on there, lad. The last of the evening's light shining around the house. Just back for more steps with the dog. Watch this little bad boy. See this little fella, Lucozade pink lemonade. Beautiful. I forgot I had this. I got 2 of them in the shop the other day. I'm going to sip away on that for the next couple of hours. But most steps done for the day. A couple more to do this evening. It is 5 o'clock. So again, I have 2 meals in. I have 3 meals left. More so strategy wise, I'll still push out that 3rd meal for another little bit as much as I can. Even though I'm at the point, right, if I push food out too far, I'm just catching myself, you know, and eating a little bit too late, because I'm being conscious of, you know, eating not too close to bed at the moment. I'm trying to get, you know, that food digested and not impacting my sleep at all. But again, just to be smart, just pushing the food out a little bit. So again, I could eat right now, wait a few more hours, but I'll probably wait another half an hour to an hour to eat that meal, get that in, and then we'll have 2 meals left for the day. But going to crack on with another little bit of work. It is the beauty of, again, obviously being able to set the day up as you like. When I'm working from home and I don't have anything specific time-wise, filming or anything, but again, it just means you might be starting work a lot earlier than like someone would if they were working, you know, a set 9 to 5, and breaking up the day then with a couple of things, you know, like breaking the day up with going for steps and not, you know, having to rush here and rush there between meals to, you know, go back to work. But at the same time then you're starting earlier and probably finishing later. You know, I know it might look like you're just starting at a normal time and then you're doing all this in the middle of the day, but it tends to be working earlier and finishing later and then having a few bits in between, you know, that kind of way. It's full on. And working for yourself is great and all. Like, I've gone through multiple periods where you're really, really under pressure. One being when you take on a load of work, putting yourself under that pressure and having deadlines to get that back. 2, when the work isn't there, you know, and you're back and forth being like, what am I going to do? You know, and finances are taking that little bit of a hit. And again, it's the choice you make, you know. Like, there has been multiple periods over the last number of years since I've been fully, you know, self-employed, you could say, where I'm like very, very close to like going back into work, you know, and applying for different jobs. But you do that, you're just back to a position you don't want to be in, because you're doing this because this is what you want to do, and then you're back to a position you don't want to be in, you know what I mean? So it's just a case of, in those moments of times, like, just picking up that little bit more, like, you know, putting in the extra stuff that is an effort, but to just get you past that point again. Do you know what I mean? And just about being smart, you know, being smart with finances. Like, again, you don't know if that paycheck is there for you at the end of the month, or however your money comes in. Do you know, that kind of way? It's just about being very smart and working hard and building up as time goes along. Because again, I'm nowhere near the position I want to be in. I'm very, very far away from the position I want to be in, but we're working on it. I think this is a really nice drink. Like, I have a bit of a habit. You'll see, like, my post-workout, I like a little bit of a drink post-workout. So I got this when I was getting diesel after the gym yesterday. But this is lovely for the most part. I wouldn't be drinking it the whole time though, compared to like a Coke Zero, because it kind of gives off a bit of a chemically vibe after a while, if you know what I mean. If that tastes like that now, 19 weeks out, can you imagine what that's going to taste like at fucking 4 weeks out? Show us the ring then, lad. We even got a balloon with our fucking faces on it, look. And she got loads of flowers and cards and all that kind of crack. But Dan's home from work and it is after 6. So we've got another meal going in. Meal 3 is going in. This is an exact replica of meal 2, okay? I've got very stuck into what I'm doing, and I know there will be a bit of variance here and there, but 160 gram of chicken, 350 gram of spuds with a little bit of peppers and onions cooked in with them as well, and then another little bit of lettuce. And then going in, again, same pink salt, low salt. We'll be following this up. Like, you'll see now, the way I work the diet is, especially on a rest day, you know, when you're not doing quite as much. Some evenings myself and Dan will be training, you know, so this meal will go in now, the next meal will go in probably within 2 hours, and then the final meal will go in probably even closer to that again. And that just works best for me. So macros for meal 3 will be on the screen now as well. I finished that Lucozade, and I still do have a couple of steps to do in all fairness, so we're going to go for a walk.
No, you can clean some beds.
I'm going to clean some beds. I've yet to show the inside of the sunbed shop. You've seen me on a sunbed before.
I need you to hang up the Valentine's decorations tonight, actually.
We're going to get Valentine's decorations and everything like that. We'll go into the sunbeds at 9 o'clock to do the lock up and all that kind of crack. So I do find, to be fair, it is very handy if I'm low on steps that night. Running around the sunbed shop cleaning the sunbeds is the fucking way to get them in. So.
That looks like a mushroom.
Also, I was saying I'm going to swap up the sauces for different meals. I got these in Lidl the other day. These 2-calorie sauces is what I'm rocking. Like, I do love sweet chili sauce, but like a normal sweet chili sauce has way too many carbs in it and too much sugar. But this has, per 100 grams, 20 calories. You know what I mean? And you're going to use a lot less than 100 grams. And then same goes for the barbecue sauce. 20 calories per 100 grams. They are very watery, but they still have some nice flavour with them. So I'm probably going to do a bit of barbecue sauce with this, more than likely. And then we'll do another jug of water, and then I'll probably hold off on having like a Coke Zero and stuff again until later. I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else to report?
No, can I go for a shower now?
We've been engaged like a week and a half, and there's still been no like special treatment or anything like that. Also,
Get fucked, mate.
telling you this much, I just put in an order for my cycle for the next couple of weeks. We'll see how long it lasts. The biggest order I've ever put in. €805. So again, before you make a decision to jump on cycle, make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Because fuck me, some days I do wish that all I still had to do was pay for food and gym membership, lad, because that is not cheap. Okay, cut it off, lad.
You're a loser.
This is what we are cooking at the moment. Watch this, lad. 9 weeks work. My man Keen Duggan. Don't know if you watch the videos, lad. You should be watching them and you should be subscribed. That was us 9 weeks ago starting off. This is where we're at right now. Boys, the potential there is mad. Just making sure he realises that potential is there now is absolutely mad. And that's what we're doing. As always, coaching inquiries linked in the description below. If you even want to have a chat with myself or Keen about what we can do together, there's no obligation to sign up. We'll lay out a full roadmap of what a year would look like for you with coaching and where we could take the physique, and we'll take it from there. Oh, fellas, I nearly forgot. I was doing a few bits and bobs. Fats. You know, I don't have massive amounts of fats in the diet, like direct fat sources, and I definitely don't think your whole day should be made up of trace fats. I think there should be some direct fat in there, and training days recently I have been enjoying a bit of peanut butter, obviously mince meat, the little bit of fat that you get from that. But with meal 3 I was supposed to have 20 grams of dark chocolate. Now this is 70%. As time goes along, we'll probably move that to 85 to 90. I just said I'd get some 70% there recently. When it comes to like dark chocolates and stuff, the higher percentage you go with dark chocolate, so this is 70, the carbs are going to be a little bit higher. Okay, so higher carbs, a little bit less fat. If I go to 85%, the carbs will be a little bit less, the fat will be a little bit more. You know what I mean? So just be cautious of that if you have a plan that has dark chocolate on it. You know, make sure you're obviously having the right one. We do have an engagement party that is getting booked. Danielle is throwing an engagement party at the start of March. So that has been thrown in the mix as well. But again, my decision to fucking propose, lads. So we're going to have to work around that. 1st of March, I think it is. And yeah, we're going to munch on this little bit of dark chocolate now for the next while. It's the story. 8:30. 8:30. Meal 4 about to go in. We have mince prepped. Mince, peas, peppers and onions in here with a little bit of seasoning. So that's been cooked there for a little bit. And then More spuds, lad. We have, again, cubes, seasoned with a little bit of salt and smoked paprika as well. Meal 4, still a bit of shit on that plate. 400 grams of potatoes. Potatoes I get are Mars Pipers. So 200 grams of mince, 5% fat mince, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of onion, peas, 400 grams of spud. And then with this one, I'll probably do just back to 50% ketchup, I think, for this one. You just can't beat ketchup, you know, especially with like chips and stuff. I know you might be looking at that amount of salt and be thinking, how is that fucking healthy? Again, my blood pressure is in perfect order for what I'm doing with myself. And hydration every single day is absolutely perfect. That's another huge one, is your hydration throughout the day. You know, one, when you're dieting, again, first and foremost, just to keep you hydrated. But two, to fill you up that little bit more, you know. And if water isn't the thing you really like, and it's not something, you know, it's not nice. There's nothing nice about water, only when you're gasping for it. Use my body, you know, like use my body and get that into you. You know, there's a big difference in being hydrated versus being dehydrated. And also, if you are pushing body weight and you are in a gainer phase, you know, you eating a lot of food, you probably find it hard to get fluids in. Make sure you're getting fluids in, man. You know, like just first thing in the morning, get that first pint of water into you. You'll notice how much more alive and with it you are. What I notice a big problem is people feeling hungry in the morning when they're really just thirsty. You know, instead of going straight for food, hydrate yourself. Instead of going straight for a coffee, water, then coffee. You'll enjoy that coffee way more. You won't be dehydrated. That's meal 4. We're going to get that into us and then we're off into the sunbed shop. Clean a few sunbeds. Ice cold can of Coke Zero. Final meal, boys. So final meal is 75 grams of oats. Showered, got the fucking dressing gown on. 75 grams of oats. Pretty much bang on the exact same as meal 1. Then we have, like meal 1, cookies and cream. I do have new protein on the way. Still have caramel biscuit and stuff there, but just enjoying a little bit of this for a couple of days, to be honest. So 35 grams away for the final meal. Pretty sure that was the same as meal 1. And we're doing a sludge. You probably saw there in the last full day of eating on a training day, I had a creamy in the final meal, and more so I was just testing the creamy out. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it was a novelty at the start, but I don't think the creamy is going to be something that we're going to need for a little bit yet. Like, I want to just be having normal meals, carbs spread throughout the day for now. Do you know, like I don't need to turn this sludge into a creamy for a while. Do you know what I mean? When the time does come, we will do that, and it will be a great tool to have, but again, we're not in a position to need to do that yet, so I don't want to ruin it for myself. I want to be able to enjoy a creamy when the time does come. Get a good pump in the fucking forearm doing this. You don't need to be in. I actually, in the Raheen bodybuilding recently, it was around Christmas time maybe, there was a lad in, it was like he'd just come in after work, do you know what I mean? He was in like a shirt, cord pants, and like fucking some type of brown shoe, and came in, did a forearm workout, fucking forearms only. I was looking at him and thinking, each to their fucking own, lad. Danielle's final meal, box of biscuits. You can't beat like a good tin of biscuits, lad. Dan's final meal, box of biscuits and a cup of tea. A little bit more dark chocolate to finish out our fats. We have 35 grams of dark chocolate to finish fats for tonight. So I really enjoyed that full day of eating. Total macros will be on the screen here for you. 220 grams of protein, 340 grams of carb, and 50 grams of fat. Bang on the money. Again, I'm pretty sure this is the setup that I will run every single rest day. The last full day of eating you saw was a little bit more, especially as it got later, it was a little bit all over the place, but obviously the macros were still, you know, hit at the end of the day. I actually left food over that day, but as the days go along now, I'll have that solidified, you know, more so. I already kind of do. You know, that full day of eating was before we went to Paris. But this is what the rest days are looking like. Again, 2 rest days every single week, so 2 days of this exact diet until food changes again. We'll probably do another full day of eating. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight of what a rest day could or should look like on this amount of food. Again, me being able to control the times I eat, cooking the food, etc., etc. It is a help, you know, and it is handy, but all the meals that I ate today are all meals that you can pre-cook and bring on the road with you, bring to work with you. Again, absolutely no issues at all there. Alright, there is a little bit of effort to go into everything that we're doing here, but if you don't put in any effort, nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean? It does require effort for us to change, and with that effort, we will change. We're going to do it all over again tomorrow with a push day, and I'm looking forward to it. Final meal is going in. I'll leave you with that. Give the video a like. Comment down below if there's anything you want to see. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate everyone who follows along and gives us a little bit of support. I'll see you in the next one.